Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, last night, of course, we held an election in this country, including the presidential election, and here in the Cincinnati area, there were also a lot of local elections. I intend to comment upon all of it, so those of you that are interested in what I have to say about what happened in Cincinnati, Hamilton County, Ohio, and Kentucky, please bear with me as I first address the presidential election. And I did an 8-hour live show last night, so my voice is a little raspy, but I know I can get through it. I want to first just point out that President Trump is a fighter. And President Trump, in light of the way that he's been treated from day one, and I covered it all last night in my monologue, I'm not going to repeat it all, how they did him from the Mueller report to the impeachment, to the media, to the tech. I think the most glaring recent example is the refusal for the media to cover the New York Post article about Hunter Biden. You put all that together, Donald J. Trump not only has the right, but he should fight to the bitter end. And I think he will, because that's his nature. And I've recently posted on my Facebook page and all my social media sites that I think Bloomberg, Soros, the left, the socialists, all of them probably deserve a Trump victory by Supreme Court decision. So let's just address this right off the bat. How does Trump still win without a Supreme Court decision? Well, he's down 8,000 votes in Nevada. And a third of those votes still haven't been counted, a third of them. And so he needs to win Nevada, no question about it. If he wins Nevada, wins Alaska, which he will, and he wins Pennsylvania, which I think he will and should, and he wins Georgia, and he wins North Carolina, he's the president of the United States. So this isn't over. And he's already indicated that he's going to challenge things in Arizona, and we still have issues in Wisconsin and Michigan. But that's how Trump wins without a Supreme Court decision. Now, you might want to say, well, why would you go to the courts? Well, let's start with what happened last night. It just never ends, the mistreatment of Donald J. Trump. And as somebody who is a victim of mistreatment from the swamp, the local swamp, the Ohio civil justice system, the Kentucky Bar Association, I get it. When you've been victimized by the system, you get where somebody's coming from. And I just want to say that there's all kinds of legal battles here. Now, last night, Trump said he wanted to stop the voting. What does the media do already to him? They say he said stop the vote counting. That is not what Trump said. He said he wanted to stop the voting, and he was concerned about fraud. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, as somebody who used to be a very involved political operative, campaign manager, chairman, so forth and so on, if you don't think in states across this country that there are Secretary of States and others who are capable of massive fraud, you're mistaken. Everybody knows in Kentucky that Paul Patton bought the election against Larry Forgy. It happens in these states, and they can't be trusted. The other thing I want to point out is in Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court failed to issue a stay, the United States Supreme Court. The Supreme Court did not decide the issue about counting that came in after Election Day. They did not decide that issue. So, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, this whole mail-in vote situation could still find itself before the United States Supreme Court, and that obviously could affect the outcome of some of these elections. Now, I want to use my cheat sheet because I don't want to miss anything. You have to be extremely naive to think that massive mail-in voting does not render itself susceptible to fraud. Really? Are you kidding me? Cheating happens, and mail-in fraud is a big deal. I want to cover a few things. Michigan. Michigan is still counting votes, but his lead was so big last night, and then they stopped, and it raises all kinds of suspicions for me. You had an attorney general from Pennsylvania announce before the election, basically like he was going to make sure Joe Biden won. North Carolina. I think that even Biden's campaign is now saying it looks like they're going to lose that. Nevada, I've already covered. He's only down 8,000 votes. Lots to cover. Wisconsin, much closer, and it's still close. Then Georgia, it looks like Trump's going to be okay there. And then we have Arizona, and Trump seems to think that there are some issues there. The other thing that you need to know is the state legislature passes laws, each of these states, to run their elections. The state legislature does that. What's happened this year, which is insanity, is you have lots of these states without the state legislature, simply election officials or a court decision from a state changing the rules. Some of these rules have been changed on the fly all the way up to election eve. And those are all subject to court challenges. And ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, what was the concern about Amy Coney Barrett, for example? She's an originalist and she's a textualist. What that means is she says, what does the statute say? And if the statutes in these states say X, Y, Z, she's going to follow those statutes. So Trump has the Supreme Court. The other thing that I think is very significant is that it's clear that the Senate is going to be held by the Republicans. That is a huge deal. Why? Because if you combine the fact that Trump now has the Supreme Court, the country now has 6 conservatives, certainly 5 for sure because of Roberts, but we've got the Supreme Court and we've got the Senate, which basically blocks all the socialist plans. So if Biden were to be declared the winner and the socialists try to push their agenda, guess what? They can't get rid of the Electoral College. They can't create D.C. and Puerto Rico estates. They can't pack the Supreme Court. They can't pass taxes and do all the things that they want to do in the socialist agenda. And it's a weird thing what Americans do. Americans like divided government. And just so you know, those of you that are in the stock market or you're not in the stock market, you got a 401k. Right now, the Dow Jones is up over 600 points. NASDAQ's up over 400. And you know why? Because business of America is saying, well, we're protected from the socialism, so whether Trump wins or Biden wins, this country isn't going to go to hell in a handbasket. So you have all that. Some more things which should concern all of you, and it just amazes me. Yesterday, Joe Biden, can't make this up, Joe Biden introduced his granddaughter, Finnegan, as his son, Beau Biden. I mean, it's unfreaking believable. And when you think about how the media ignored all that issue, the Hunter Biden issue, ignored the GDP, didn't report the GDP, I get angry as hell. And thank God Trump's going to be angry too. That the media and big tech tried all that they could do to defeat Trump. And here he is with still 2 paths to the election. An outright win when the votes are all counted, or a Supreme Court decision based upon irregularities. And what did they say? Landslide win for Joe Biden. That's what they called. The polls were all wrong. And here they are, in my opinion, trying to steal this election from Trump. But Trump's not going to let it be stolen. There's also military ballots out there to be counted in some of these states, like maybe Nevada. I don't know if that could or could not make a difference. But the one thing that I want to stress, especially to all you Trump supporters, is this is far from over, and Trump isn't going to take it. he is going to take every legal challenge in every state he can, and he should. It cracks me up how they mistreat this guy from day one. I mean, it's sickening. It's sickening. And he has every right to take every right, including the courts, in order to challenge. That's what the courts are there for. Now, shifting gears. I'm extremely disappointed that Fanon Rucker did not beat Joe Deters. And I'm not backing down from this. Hamilton County, you just reelected a full-blown, alcoholic, part-time, corrupt man as your prosecutor. And that's okay. It was your prerogative to do that. He bought the election with $1.3 million and racist commercials. It'll be Joe's last election. He'll retire and let DeWine appoint his replacement, just like Biden's going to do with Kamala Harris. But that was a disappointing election for me. Now, some good news, especially for all you Durrani clients. Russell Mock from the 1st District was defeated, and the Democrats won the 1st District. And that's only good for people who are harmed and hurt by doctors and others in the state of Ohio. In addition to that, the Democrats picked up an Ohio Supreme Court Justice in Bruner. O'Donnell lost, but she won. So now it's 4-3, and every bit helps. Also, the common pleas judges, for the most part, all lost that were Republicans. One of the few examples, I think, is Melba Marsh held on. Of course, what did I say? She was a woman. She's a black woman. So they make an exception for her. But Dingelacker lost. All those others, Republicans, lost. And Kubicki, little bitty Chuck Kubicki, lost. I don't care for him. So, you know, the blue wave still is, you know, the sheriff, the Democrats won the sheriff's office. And I just want to share with all of you Durrani clients, having Democratic judges in the common pleas that might still be involved in some of these cases possibly, or the 1st District and an additional judge on the Supreme Court is a good thing, and thank goodness. In Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, all the cast of characters you'd expect won, the Republicans. I think the fact that Senator McConnell killed McGrath with $70 million being spent, and last night she was still running television commercials, was very humorous. And then, you know, Lindsey Graham and all the others that were necessary to win to hold on to the United States Senate is great. So for all of you who are Trump supporters, don't give up hope. He is going to fight to the end. The other thing is Trump still president for several more months? We'll have outstanding decisions by him. We'll have executive orders by him. But I predict, is what I predict. I predict, whether he wins it or loses, that this election will be decided in one way, shape, or form by the United States Supreme Court. That's just the way I feel. And, you know, they have mistreated Trump so bad. The looks on their faces last night when it looked like Trump was winning. And I agree with Trump. They stop. And by the way, I did this on my show last night. The reason why they stop is they say, we got to find votes. Where can we find the votes? If they find 700,000 votes to their advantage in Pennsylvania, really? Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, have a great night, great day, and I'll be back tomorrow. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.